Hey, Derek, you've previously said that referral marketing is a business's true competitive advantage. But what I'm really interested in hearing about is what makes referrals more powerful and more sustainable than other channels.
It's based on principles and a strategy that just it's not buffeted by whatever the latest marketing trend is, whatever the latest campaign trend is. It's not impacted by content and algorithms, which is really noisy in the current market and getting noisier. When you're dealing with referral partnerships and you've got a referral marketing strategy or process, you can implement and execute on that consistently, and therefore it becomes duplicatable and scalable. So I always talk about referral marketing being completely different to word of mouth marketing or getting referrals, which is typically an ad hoc process. When you actually do referral marketing through strategic referral partnerships, it's very programmatic, it's very systemized, it's very predictable, and it can be refined and innovated on. So yeah, that's effectively what we're talking about.
Awesome. Now, if a sales leader were to tell you, we've tried offering every incentive in the book, but no one ever refers leads to us, how would you respond to that?
You haven't tried every incentive in the book, and maybe
Okay.
maybe you need to go and ask your referral partners about what's important to them, because with any sales and marketing process, you've got traffic, you've got leads that turn into appointments, you've then got appointments that turn into sales presentations, and then you've got sales presentations that actually turn into sales. In between each of those stages, there's a gap, there's an air gap. So if something's not working for you, then there's something happening within that gap or that transition process. So if you're not getting referrals, it's maybe your offer is not resonating with the people you're trying to sell it to. So go and ask them what's important to them. When it comes to referral partnerships, it doesn't always have to be, and in fact, it's better if it's not commissions or revenue share or a lunch or bottle of wine, right? If you tie your value proposition to what's important to your referral partner's business, then they're taking you to market all of the time. So the question is, what is the value that you are delivering to them? Why is it important to them? Why do they care about it? When you can answer those questions, then you can bundle an offer or an incentive. And the incentive may be just that you enable a better business outcome for them. When you do that, then you've just got this go-to market strategy that you can not only get referrals from partners, but you then can take that value proposition, that bundled offer, and actually do, dare I say it, cold outreach to referral partners who own a relationship with lots of your ideal customers. And you're leading with value. Therefore, your conversations are completely different. Your engagement process is completely different. Your conversion rate skyrockets. So the question is, forget incentive, swap out the word incentive for the word value. What is your value proposition to the person that you want to refer? And is that value proposition important to them? When you can say, yes, it's important to them, and they say, yeah, that's really important to me, I really want to engage with you around that value proposition, bang, now you've got a framework or a model or a collaboration point where you can actually go to market together. That when you get embedded in their sales process or their marketing process, your referral partner's customer success or follow-up or delivery process, that's utopia. That's when you get to speak to all of their clients all the time.
You regularly talk about generating recurring revenue, even from networking leads that don't actually necessarily convert to clients. Can you tell me about what that means in practice?
Yeah, it's about having tools in your business that make your life easier that you can actually monetize as part of your standard go-to-market process. So think Microsoft and managed service providers. They're partners with Microsoft. They use Microsoft as a lead generation strategy in their conversation, in their delivery, etc., and they receive a commission on Microsoft for selling that product in. if we take exactly that concept for business networking and you go, what are the tools that I can use to actually improve my business networking and grow referral partnerships effectively? And then how do I partner with the vendor so that as I'm using that tool at my top of funnel lead generation process, that process alone starts to drive new revenue, regardless of whether that person becomes a direct client or not. They're the sorts of things I'm talking about. So when you're talking about business development, BDMs, and you're talking about sales people, sales leaders that are going out and networking, particularly for business coaches and consultants that do a lot of online and in-person event networking, how do you systemize that process with tools that pay you just for interacting on the platform? Now, you can then make, so then you're actually incentivized to do networking properly and incentivized to do networking more effectively and paid to do it. And so it's a win-win-win for you and your activity, and where you'll then have the mindset of connecting people up on a platform. They may not be a direct client for you, but they may be a perfect introduction for one of your clients. When you have that mindset and that process systemized, that then drives engagement and retention for your existing client base. But doing it on a platform that pays you to do it, that's where you pick up recurring revenue, regardless of whether a person is actually a potential client for you or not, or whether they actually are a potential client but never actually take on your core service. You're still being paid to network properly.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. I've not thought about it in that way. Now, some leaders assume that referrals are always unpredictable. And how do you challenge that mindset?
It's a fair mindset because of the way the majority go about doing it. Everybody networks similarly, and similarly they don't get the right results. And therefore the mindset comes in that it's a lot of hard work. I've got to build these relationships. The relationships have to be built over a long period of time. Therefore, you can only have a few relationships. They're hard to sustain, and then you get burnout, right? Or then you don't follow up, and it's hard to maintain engagement. That's what causes referral partnerships and referral relationships to break down or not get started. So I completely reverse that. If you're doing business networking, then you are having a conversation around how do you collaborate with the intent to do business together. When you've got clarity on who your ideal referral partner is, you've got clarity on what your value proposition is to that referral partner, then you can sit down and go, right, is there a connection? Yes, right. Let's have a very deliberate conversation around doing business together. And if we're the right fit, now we've got a process and a reason to engage fast, engage frequently. So relationships come from proximity. So when you're very deliberate about building that commercial objective first with the right people, right? Always with the right people, then that creates that proximity of engagement because there's a very compelling reason for them to have the next conversation with you. And then as you do good business together and you're working together regularly, then your relationship grows much faster than going relationship first, hopefully get a referral out the back end at some point down the track. Most people don't talk about building relationships by doing business first. They're looking to build relationships over the long term to hopefully get referrals and business. It just seems back to front to me.
Yeah, I can understand that, but it's so common to have that reverse view.
It's what everybody talks about. And therefore, everybody's doing the relationship-based word of mouth thing. It's like, how about be really far more deliberate and intentful about doing good business with the right people as fast as you can, because that's going to speed up your relationship and engagement.
Well, for those business leaders that are looking to get started being intentional about referral relationship building or referrals in general, what would be a first step that you would advise them to do to start that journey?
Profile your best customers in a
Mhm.
couple of different industries. Just start with one.
Mhm.
Use your existing best customers that you love working with, that you wish you had a dozen, 100, 1,000 more of them. Profile them in a really deep way. All of those customers have relationships with vendors and the technology industry. Think about their vertical and their industry, not technology vendors, right? It's about, or it might be technology, but get out of your own backyard and get into the client's world. Who are their vendors? Who are their suppliers? Who are the reps that are calling on them? Who are their trusted advisors? Because your best clients can introduce you to those people. Those vendors, suppliers, advisors, reps all have relationships with lots of customers that look exactly like your best customer. So your best customers can introduce you to your next best referral partner. You just need the conversation piece to facilitate that introduction in a way that takes the pressure off your client in doing it. And that comes down to your value proposition to your referral partner, because you're leading with value. You're not going into a referral partner to try and sell them something. You're going in to offer a value proposition around collaboration. Takes a lot of pressure off your customers in that referral process. And if you set the conversation up right, your clients will refer you to partners all day long.
Amazing. That's such an achievable first step. Incredible.